Alright, so if you don't know what a liminal space is basically an image or an area that feels really nostalgic and lonely and sometimes even creepy because of how lonely it feels. If I put a couple images on screen, you can probably get the gist of it. Now, there are many VR games that have liminal spaces in, and today we're going to be going through a couple games that have this feeling of loneliness in. First of all, we have Gorilla Tag. Now, many people have already made videos about how Gorilla Tag feels lonely, so I will skip over this part a bit. But one of the main reasons Gorilla Tag feels so isolated is the fact that there are massive walls around you. In this game, you're supposed to be a monkey, swinging around nature, escaping other monkeys, yet you have these massive walls around you that feel like they're capturing you in. Almost as if this place that you're running around in is not natural and it's artificial and it was made by someone, implying that you are being watched. Also, if you saw that scary image of like William Afton flash on screen, just ignore that, that's just part of the background video. Another reason is the ambience, like in Forest when you hear the birds chirruping, etc. However, there are no birds, and when the music plays, it's not fun and happy music, it's coming from a siren, giving the feeling that this place is artificial and you're being watched even more, continuing that feeling of eeriness. However, let's move on to our next game that we're going to be talking about. Now, VR Chat is a very chaotic game, and amongst all the chaos, you have the loading screen. Now, the loading screen usually plays after you go into another world, so you have all this screaming and shouting from all the squeakers, and then suddenly it just blacks out as you go to the loading screen, as this music plays. Now, it's pretty obvious how the music is nostalgic, it just is, but what's more creepier is just the ambience. You're in this massive blue void, and whilst what I'm playing on screen is just the non-VR version, in the VR version, it's just odd, and sometimes you're in there for a long time. When you're joining a world that it has a lot of gigabytes in it, or megabytes because no world's that big, you're just sitting there, waiting for a long time, and then suddenly there's this part of the loading screen where it just goes silent. And then at the end of the loading screen, it glitches out for a couple seconds before putting you in the new world. And that just feels so odd to me. But I'm sure you don't want to see me ramble on about a loading screen. Let's go to something more familiar that practically everybody watching this video knows, as long as you have a VR headset at least. This is of course the Oculus home screen. Now, the Oculus home screen is nostalgic for the exact same reasons as VR Chat is. The only difference is you're not going to spend long in this, as you're probably going to quickly load up a VR game. However, if you stop for a moment to appreciate the atmosphere, it just feels nice. And you can see a bunch of other home screens similar to yours in the distance. Let's say you're in the space station home screen. In the distance, you can see other space stations, or in the balcony home screen, you can see a bunch of other balconies very similar to it in the distance, giving this feeling that you're not alone. But unlike Gorilla Tag, it's more so in a good way. However, this video was actually made just to talk about one game in particular, which a lot of long-time viewers of the channel definitely know about. This is The Under Presents. Now, this game is impossibly hard to describe, but in a nutshell, you're in this massive desert. It's an online game, so you can find other players, and throughout this massive desert, there's a variety of locations to visit, from a bar to a gift shop. However, within the lore of the game, all these locations that you're visiting have been pulled out of reality and have been taken to this desert, giving a feeling of, yet again, abandonedness, loneliness and nostalgia to them. Amplifying that even more is the fact that all of these locations have some sort of secret mystery for you to solve around them, which usually rewards you with a cosmetic or something. But what I mean by that is there's a bunker underneath the map which has a dark secret about it, which I'm not going to explain and that you guys are going to have to find out. However, what really hammers home the nostalgia for me is the fact that this game has live events in it. Now, whilst they don't do them anymore, every day at around midnight there would be live events that go down, and me and my friends would stay up all night waiting for these live events to happen. And eventually, when we hear some weird noises in the distance, like some sort of DJ party or a massive skeleton running around, we would, well, it just had this excitement to it because of how rare they were. We'd just be sitting around for hours trying to think of stuff to do, and then suddenly it would happen. And those memories were just really nostalgic. Also, in the story mode of the game, where a bunch of people are trapped on a boat and you have to go inside their memories and solve a puzzle inside their memories to stop them from dying on the boat, that also feels very nostalgic from the fact that you're going in their memories. And it's just hard to describe all the liminal spaces and why the game is so nostalgic. Literally because everything about the game is nostalgic. From its music, to its art style, to how the game is structured. I mean, just look at this place. It looks like somewhere from your dreams. And I recently went back in the game for old time's sake to just have a look around all its different locations, and it was just scary. Probably the most horrifying experience I've ever had with a game, because of how, like, I've said this word a lot during the video and it's kind of just become a buzzword, but this game is extremely nostalgic. Like, I can't get over that. Out of everything we've talked about, this game is just the most nostalgic and lonely. Not lonely when you have friends around, but it's just scary how sad it is. It's just definitely one of the best VR games or games I've ever played. So I heavily implore you guys to get the game. It's free on the Oculus store, but it's a demo. And thank you for watching it this far in the video. Bye.